You are watching WSFA Television, Montgomery.
The Auburn Football Review. Brought to you by South Central Bell, featuring Coach Ralph Shug with Carl Stevens.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Auburn Football Review, the playback of yesterday's game against Alabama, won by the Crimson Tide 28-0. But more importantly than that, the end of an era as Coach Jordan ended his 25-year coaching career at Auburn University. Coach Jordan, good to have you with us as we go round for one final time.
Well, thank you, Carl. Thank you for all these many years. 15, isn't it?
13.
13, well, I can afford to miss it by 2 today. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun and everything, and it is the end of an era and a swan song, the end of a line, any way you want to put it. I remember talking to the football team yesterday or the day before about the end of the line, and it was for 21 seniors, more importantly than my end of the line. But there does come a time, and it was a swan song. It wasn't the greatest swan song in the world yesterday, but it was the swan song. And well, there are many people, of course, I would like to thank here today. Of course, we'll get into Carl, you, and your group, and the other people later on. But certainly I want to thank the administrations at Auburn, and I would like to thank the faculty and the student bodies, and over these 25 years, and assistant coaches, and a great many wonderful football players, and the alumni and partisan, even biased fans of Auburn down through the years. I'd like to thank you all for these magnificent years, and if I have made any contribution at all, I'm only glad and happy and just plain delighted. I don't intend to go anyplace, so I'm not going to miss Auburn. I certainly will miss football, I guess. Well, I know I will. I'll miss the competition. I'll miss the young people that play the game. I'll miss the preparation. I'll miss all the excitement. I'll miss the adrenaline. But I don't think I'm so old that the adrenaline still won't flow as I watch Auburn football teams play. And I certainly wish Doug Barfield and his new staff, whoever they might be, every success in the world. And if I can help in any way, I'll only be too glad if I can be a leg man in any way. And then, too, once again, I would like to thank Governor Wallace for appointing me to the Auburn Board of Trustees, and I hope at the proper time I will be confirmed by the Senate, and I hope that I will be able to make a contribution to Auburn in another area, or many other areas, and good Lord willing, and I'll use a young friend of mine expression, and if the creek don't rise, maybe I can make some contribution in other areas. Certainly I will always be interested in Auburn athletics. There are many other people but that I could go on talking. Of course, I would like to say this. I would like to congratulate Coach Bryant, his coaching staff, and his wonderful football team for their victory yesterday, and I certainly wish them every success as they go to New Orleans to play in the Superdome against Penn State, and I will certainly be watching that with in an eager way.
About 63,500 fans were on hand at Legion Field in Birmingham yesterday for the game, and there's the last meeting on the field as Coach Bryant and Coach Jordan, surrounded by, at least 100, 150 photographers.
I guess so, and I've never seen as many flash bulbs and cameras in all my life, and that was just a little salute. I wasn't trying to act like Muhammad Ali, but a little salute to the Auburn student body as they caught my attention with some yells, and I deeply appreciated that and them. And I must say that I enjoyed always visiting with Paul Bryant. He's a wonderful fella. He's a great coach. He's a friend. lot of people don't think so, think of us as friends, but it's true. And I'm very fond of him, and I certainly wish him great success in his other years of coaching.
Auburn won the toss, elected to receive. Auburn in the blue jerseys, Alabama in white. The Crimson Tide is kicking off, and it's number 7, Bucky Berry, doing the kicking. Neal and Beck are deep for Auburn, and the first kick goes out of the end zone, so the War Eagles put it in play, 1st and 10 at the 20. Bill Gargis, number 11, is the quarterback, and on the first play hands it to number 44 as he comes to the right. The pitch out to Cedric McIntyre, and McIntyre is stopped cold by number 45, Wayne Rhodes.
Well, that play was well defense. Back to, there's about a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind up there yesterday, but we wanted the football so much that we decided to go against the wind, and it didn't work out too bad. That was Kenny Burks, Carl.
Burks picked up 3 yards to the 23, and it's now 3rd and 7 for Auburn. And that's Gargis in slow motion, heading to the right. Again, the pitch out, this time to number 34, Kenny Burks, coming at right end.
And he has good blocking and a good alley. Kenny, incidentally, his final game was the leading ground gainer for Auburn yesterday.
On that play, he picked up 13 yards, and on this play, McIntyre hits the middle for 3 more to the 39.
And we are moving the ball real good along in here. Alabama, of course, we realized before the game had a supremely good defense. And yesterday didn't disprove it at all. We didn't make much yardage on the ground. Our passing was a fiasco. But above everything else, they moved the ball much better than we had anticipated. Here's the first kick, and Gardner got off a good kick. His kicking was splendid yesterday, and the coverage was pretty good, except for a few occasions. But I guess the Alabama safety man is a great return man and gave us a little bit of trouble there. All right, but let's hold on. No way in the world to miss a tackle like that if your head's up, eyes open, and you're really after somebody. But anyway, he didn't gain very much, if any. That's Todd keeping the ball.
And Auburn fans thought the Tigers had recovered a fumble on that play, but the officials ruled it was after the whistle, and Todd picks up 4 yards, making it 3rd and 7 from the 26.
Well, that was the first of 2 fumbles yesterday that there was some controversy over, and I don't know. After 43 years of coaching, I still don't know what a fumble is, and I guess that's an indication of some stupidity or something.
Alabama fails to make a first down on their first possession. They punt to Auburn, and Neal returns it to the 37. Coach Paul Davis on the Tiger sideline. 1st and 10, Auburn at the 37, 9:45 left in the first quarter. McIntyre gets maybe 1 yard.
Well, the Alabama defense, as I pointed out, is a tremendously fine defense. They're very quick, they're very mobile, and they get around real good. They have a lot of confidence, they have a lot of poise, and they've made it real difficult, not only on Auburn, but everybody else they've played.
Gargis passed to Gilligan, picked up the first down, then Gargis gets to midfield by picking up 3 yards. 2nd and 7. The pitch out goes to Cedric McIntyre at right end, picks up maybe a yard into Alabama territory to the 49.
Well, after the first play there, when Kenny Burks got outside, it was pretty difficult. And here's just plain ability there on the part of Philip Gargis. He stayed on his feet, maintained his balance, and moved the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Pass protection yesterday was not good.
The punt goes to Willie Shelby at about the 14-yard line. He gets no more than back to the 16 before number 48, Greg Gilligan, stops it.
We talked about, covering those kicks on the sideline, and I just simply asked the question, if some of them thought maybe they were given a fair catch signal. I don't know what it was, or maybe they were overrunning, losing the position of the kick. That's Davis.
Johnny Davis.
And what a powerful football player. He's only a sophomore, and I think won a scholarship yesterday. I congratulate him. One of the Alabama linemen won the other scholarship.
This is the beginning of Alabama's first touchdown drive. Mike Stock at left end of the 42-yard line. And Johnny Davis this time breaks loose and is finally downed at the 50 by Rick Telliard, number 91.
In other words, when you tackle people like Johnny Davis, you're going to have to get him low and get a hold of those feet. Because he, on that last play there, they called pass interference there. But anyway, on Davis's last play, he ran over about 3 Auburn defensive people.
Pass interference call on the pass to Ozzie Newsome, and Alabama has a first down at the Auburn 34, and here comes Davis.
Well, that's that business where you get one leg and you don't get them both, and he's just like a wild bull when he gets into your secondary with these small defensive backs that we have. Incidentally, there was a fine tackle there by Bill Cunningham, number 25.
Todd back, and he's dropped by number 93, Jim Pitts, but the ball had been blown dead, and Alabama penalized for delay of game.
Add another one of those close situations that makes a difference of some 10, 15 yards.
Davis to the 25, a 3-yard gain, and it's Telliard and Pat LaRock on the stop. 2nd and 12 from the 25. And the pitch out this time goes from Todd to Willie Shelby, going around right end for 8 yards before number 70, Steve Staniland, brings him down. And now Alabama has it 3rd and 4 at the Auburn 17, and here comes the touchdown.
Well, that's right. That's just a crossing pattern, and we just don't have anybody over in that area. Rick Sanders, number 38, was trying his best to get back.
Pass complete to number 81, Jerry Brown, as the Tide goes 84 yards in 10 plays. And now it's Ridgway to attempt the extra point. It's up and good, and Alabama leads Auburn 7-0 with 2 minutes, 49 seconds left to play in the opening quarter. Bucky Berry kicking off. Short kick, and Gary Beck takes it on the bounce at the 3-yard line and fights his way out to the 23.
I think by far the best part of our play yesterday, if you leave out the punting of Clyde Baumgartner, was kickoff returns. We had over 125 or 30 yards worth of kickoff returns that are never reflected in yardage, but they mean a great deal. And one of them went for a long ways, but it was called back because Gary Beck stepped on the sideline.
3rd and 4 from the 29, and McIntyre gets a yard to the 30. Roy Cook led the tacklers. So it's 4th down, and number 10, Clyde Baumgartner, is back in punt formation for Auburn.
And once again, I tell you another young man that's done a great job all year is Tom Nettleman, the center. He goes in as a specialist. Tom is not a big boy, but he really puts the ball right on the money, so to speak. It's got good speed, and Baumgartner handles it well, and it's part of the kicking game, I guarantee you, because without that snap, you just don't get the ball off.
2nd and 6 on the final play of the first quarter as Culliver gets 5 yards. And that's the end of the first quarter with Alabama leading. Alabama 7, Auburn nothing.
Design Line phones let you be whoever you want to be. You can be French and formal, or tweed and leather. Maybe you're more continental or fanciful and fun. These remarkable Design Line phones are available in a wide price range. They're different, individual, like you. Many models to choose from. A Design Line phone lets you be whoever you want to be. Order a Design Line phone from your South Central Bell business office.
In that first quarter, Auburn had the ball for 8 minutes, 9 seconds. Alabama for almost 7 minutes. Alabama has the ball now 3rd and 1 from the 46, and Duffy Bowles gets to the Auburn 45 before number 95, John Smith, stops him. 1st and 10 for the Crimson Tide. And that's Duffy Bowles going up the middle again to the 36. 2nd and 1. Bowles dives over center to the 30. He gets the first down, a 6-yard gain.
Well, you know, we, I guess in all the scouting that goes on and talking with people, a lot of people, I guess, including Alabama, thought this play is going to be called back because there was a clipping penalty up there a little bit further on back out of camera range. But that if Alabama had an Achilles heel, it would be the offensive line. But, of course, we didn't notice that yesterday. Now, I've read that Alabama perhaps played their best game. I don't know about that, but that should have been an interception there. But anyway, whether it's their Achilles heel or not, they did a splendid job yesterday.
I thought Glenn Ward might get away here. He took that ball on the bounce at the 8-yard line and returned it to the 19.
Well, that's pretty dangerous to do that, but yet on the other hand, in these years, I've seen some long runs as a result of a little bit of daring.
McIntyre fumbles, and Ostrowski recovers for Auburn at the 23. Pick up a 4 yards on the play, 2nd and 6.
There's a good slow-motion shot of McIntyre running, I guess you'd call it a misdirection play. That's one of those fancy new expressions used by some of the young coaches.
7-yard gain for McIntyre, and this time Gargas hands it to Kenny Burks, and Burks heads up the middle, and he fights his way to the...
He does. Look at him. Kenny Burks has been our strongest runner for the last 2 years anyway.
McIntyre almost caught at the line, then tries to reverse his direction and is brought down behind the line for a 9-yard loss by Paul Harris. 3rd and 14 from the 26-yard line. Auburn comes up to the line, waits, and a flag will be thrown, and the Tigers will be penalized 5 yards for a delay of game. That'll put it back at the 21 and make it 3rd and 19. Gargas. Screen pass over to Burks, but it's knocked down by Harris.
Well, that was a fine defensive play by the left side of the Alabama line, and we did have some people over there lined up. And if the ball had been completed, then, gee, this was a tough situation there.
Alabama recovered back at the 24-yard line. What a break that would have been.
Oh, yeah. There wasn't many breaks yesterday, and, of course, that's a tribute to the Alabama, as far as I'm concerned.
Todd, on a mix-up, gets out across the 25 to the 29-yard line, where Raymond Fagan makes the stop. 2nd and 5, and there goes Calvin Culliver, getting maybe a couple of yards. Ricky Sanders stops him, number 38. 3rd and 3.
It's kind of hard to pick out many people on the Auburn. Who made that tackle? Do you have
Raymond Fagan.
Raymond Fagan, number 45. Many people, offense and defense, have stood out yesterday, but I guess Ricky Sanders, number 38 from Oneonta, came about as close as anyone.
Nelson punting. Neal bobbles it and recovers it at the 22-yard line with 7 minutes, 41 seconds left in the half. Alabama still leading 7-0.
Well, he did bobble it, and he did the wise thing, the smart thing, to just go ahead and fall on the ball. Now, look at this. That's what I'm talking about.
It's Kenny Burks, number 34, going out of bounds after a 5-yard gain.
A lot of backs would have gone down much earlier than that. So Kenny Burks has that fine leg drive and great desire to run with the football. We'll miss him.
3rd and 5 from the 27. Burks takes it on a draw play.
Kenny again on the draw play, and he has pretty good blocking, but stay with your blocks. He just runs out of that tackle, and he's overwhelmed right here. But he's still going forward, and he's still picking up a little yardage in spite of all that. Well, that's the kind of back that I admire.
A 10-yard gain for number 34, Kenny Burks. It's 1st and 10, Auburn at the 37. And the pitch out again goes to Burks, but he is hit immediately by King for no gain.
Well, I take my hat off to him right there. That was a great defensive play. But for holding on to the football.
That was Beck, not Burks, I'm sorry. Pass.
Gary Beck.
Pass this time goes downfield to Gilligan, and it's incomplete. 3rd and 10 from the 37. And Gargas goes back and tosses a long one downfield this time to Mike Henley, but it's incomplete.
And the ball was thrown out of bounds anyway. I guess Phillip figured that Henley was pretty well covered there.
Baumgartner punting on 4th down. Willie Shelby waiting for it back at the 14.
That's where you're not under control, and he nearly breaks this thing. And Shelby, of course, is the most dangerous man. Wouldn't be the first time he'd broken a punt.
Brought it out to the 30-yard line.
We're real proud of our punt coverage, and it's been great. Yesterday was not our finest hour, but they didn't break one, let's put it like that.
2nd and 6 from the 34. Todd hands it off to Willie Shelby, or maybe 2 yards before number 99, Liston Edens, trips him up. Davis at left tackle to the 38, start by Carlos Hart after a 2-yard gain. Rod Nelson into punt now from the 38-yard line on 4th down. Waiting for it is Neal at the 29-yard line, and
He snowed under. There wasn't many times during the first half yesterday that Auburn didn't play pretty good football. Gotten a break or two on fumbles, but I say break through. They run their linebackers through, and we didn't pick them up, and that makes it tough on the quarterback. Tough on your passing game, as a matter of fact, to not have better protection.
2nd and 17 from the 23.
And a screen pass over here to Jeff Gilligan. He gets a block, and he picks up a few yards.
To the 30, and on top of that, there's a late hit, and the flag goes down, and Alabama will be penalized 15 yards for a personal foul, putting the ball at the 46. 1st and 10. And that's Gargas faking the handoff to Burtz, but Gargas keeps it. Makes a good run, picking up another 1st down as he goes 11 yards to the Alabama 43-yard line.
Well, that Philip Gargas, of course, he's about as tough as they come and a great competitor. And once again, no protection. Though they dropped Gargas for a loss.
Bob Baumhauer made the tackle, 2nd and 15 at the 48, a draw to McIntyre, and McIntyre is stopped for no gain.
I guess Bob Baumhauer is the young man I had reference to a while ago who won a scholarship for Alabama yesterday.
3rd and 15 from the 48, McIntyre for 1 yard to the 47.
And there was no daylight over there.
So on 4th down, with just seconds remaining, Clyde Baumgardner is in to punt.
And once again, Alabama puts a great rush on.
And this one is down at the 9-yard line, and Alabama then ran out the final 41 seconds of the first half with the score still at the end of 2 quarters, Alabama 7, Auburn nothing.
Don't let special moments slip away. Share your day with a friend.
It doesn't cost much to keep in touch with friends by long distance.
Let's give him a call.
We should. Call now.
Don't let special moments slip away.
Well, we're at halftime in today's Auburn Football Review, and before we discuss where we stand at halftime in the ball game, let's pass out to some thanks to some people who have helped us over the years on the Auburn Football Review, starting very first with our film crew that does such a magnificent job, led by Stan Tarleton, the chief photographer who has filmed every Auburn football game for the 21 years you've been on, save 1 year when he did not
He's
do
always
it.
done a splendid job.
And Roger Thomas, who gets such outstanding slow-motion action shots from the press box, and also is the program director in the afternoon for the Auburn Football Review. And Harold Ezell, our sideline slow-motion cameraman, who also edits the film, and believe me, that is an all-night job, and Harold does a great job with it. Don Cowden, who gets the great color shots of the crowd and the cheerleaders and the majorettes, and Floyd Dozier with a backup camera in the press box, and all the other technicians here at the studio, Joe Bryan and his stage crew and studio cameramen, the audio operators, and in addition to the people here at WSFA who has produced this program with you for 21 of your 25 years, I'd like to thank Buddy Davidson over at Auburn, your sports information director, who is such great help to us all the time.
Well, thank you, Carl, and I'd like to second the motion on all the people that you talked about here at WSFA who have done such a splendid job, and also I'd like to express my thanks to you.
Well,
You have made it mighty easy for me, and you put me completely at ease, and a lot of people talk how relaxed I am on television. Well, it's because of Carl Stevens.
Thank you.
Because you know what's going on, and you keep me informed beautifully, and it's just a pleasure to work with you. And then, of course, there's Lucky Forney Advertising Agency, and Pat Dunbar with that agency, and Bob Lucky III with that agency, and, of course, South Central Bell and Mr. Ben Brown. We couldn't do without them, and what a great organization Ben Brown and South Central Bell have, and how much we appreciate their help.
Well, it's halftime now. Alabama has a 7-0 lead, and Auburn has played some good football this first half. How are you feeling?
Well,
about
it's wishful thinking as we sit here today and talk about it, but on the basis first half. We'd contained Alabama reasonably well. They are certainly a great football team, a powerful football team, but we felt that we were very much in the football game, and with a break here and there, and some consistency on defense, and able to move the football a little bit more, and a little better passing game. In other words, get something going, that we had a chance. I say it sounds wishful today, but at that time, 30 minutes after the game had started, we felt real good about our position in this football game.
Alabama had the option in the third quarter and elected to receive, so it'll be Neil O'Donohue kicking off for Auburn. I thought maybe at this point, if Auburn could hold Alabama on the first series of downs, it might really mean something later on, but as it turned out, Alabama takes this opening kickoff and drives for a touchdown. Shelby brings the kickoff back and fights his way out to the 23-yard line, and look who's in there, number 2, Neil O'Donohue.
Neil O'Donohue, he likes to go down. Now, I've never seen as many people off balance and not under control as on that kickoff team. Shelby is the kind that dances around and jumps. Now, here's that fumble,
I think everybody on the field thought Auburn had recovered.
And I think maybe the quarterback felt like he had fumbled the ball. I don't know. But anyway, that's not the way it was called.
Shelby.
That would have been one of those breaks we were looking for.
Shelby picks up the first down at the 33-yard line, and then Davis gets to the 36, a 3-yard gain. Number 91, Rick Tellyard, stops him. And Todd gives it to Davis again, this time right up the middle to the 49-yard line before Cunningham can stop him, but it's a 13-yard gain.
You know, in all my years, I don't know that I've ever seen a more powerful running back than John Davis here. That's just another example of what I'm talking about.
8 more yards.
Oh, there might be a few people a little fancy and dance around a little bit more, but just for sheer power, I think I'd have to go with John Davis, and I'm very much aware of the fact that he has 2 big years left over there.
Shelby.
Now, that was a good tackle, and that was Bill Cunningham coming up from safety position, number 25, that made that tackle.
1st and 10 for Alabama at the 41. And they give it to Davis, who fights for 3 yards.
We just lack a little something. We stand around, we watch 1 or 2 people hit one of these backs, and we don't do anything about it. There were times yesterday when they had to pull 11 people off of Philip Gargas. That's the kind of defense we have had at Auburn in other years, and I hope one of these days we'll have it again. Well, our defense completely broke down there, and one of our men went for Davis, as a matter of fact, when he should have been going for the quarterback. And so that brought about a fine run there by Todd.
Alabama went 77 yards in 10 plays on that drive. The touchdown run by Richard Todd was for 33 yards, and Ridgway's point after is good. And now with 10 minutes, 26 seconds left in the third quarter, Alabama has increased its lead to 14-0. Berry kicking off, and Beck's waiting for it in the end zone, and Beck's going to make a great return on this one, but he stepped out of bounds, I guess, at the
about the 40-yard line. It was a good run as it was, but it would just been a lot better. Right in there, I guess, is where he stepped out of bounds, but gosh, it looked like at one time he might break that, and some of the people back of him had blocked on some of that pursuit. He might have gone all the way. But anyway, it was brought back to about the 40-yard,
36-yard line.
36-yard.
Ran it down to the Bama 28. Gargas goes around right in for 7 yards to the 43-yard line. Alan Pizzatola on the stop. 2nd and 3 from the 43 now for Auburn.
And right along in here, we were moving the ball pretty good. All right, he decides to run, and Phillip has quick feet, and he picked up some yardage there.
5 yards for the first down, out to the 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Gargas this time fakes it to McIntyre, pitches it to Burks at left end, and Burks crosses the 50-yard line.
All right, that great desire and good movement there on the part of Kenny Burks. He's has that fine body lean, and it's always in the direction of the opponent's goal line, which is the earmarks of a great back.
McIntyre stopped just short of the first down. They measured it, and it was maybe 2 or 3 inches short.
And we have a 4th down situation coming up here, and so we go for it, and Gargis makes it.
1st and 10 for Auburn at the Alabama 39.
All right, things are looking real good here, but not for long because we have a pass interception. Could be on this play.
Oh, Gargis doesn't find his receiver and runs with this one to the 38-yard line, gets a 1-yard pickup, and it's on this play we get the interception.
And it's a deflected pass type of interception. It's deflected right there and popped up in the air, and that's the kind that spells touchdown. That tackle was made by Ostrowski, the offensive tackle, number 64, and Gargis himself, number 11. Well, that's tough and good a late play on the part of Alabama.
1st and 10 at the 44 as Alabama begins another touchdown drive. Davis takes it at left tackle into Auburn territory to the 45. An 11-yard gain of 1st down. Davis for 3 more. Tacklers led by Ricky Sanders, but a number of others in there.
Now, that's fine defensive play there. Not only one man hit Davis, but a half a dozen. And that's what it's going to take.
Todd keeps it left in and out of bounds at the 27-yard line with just over 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. He picks up 15 yards.
I tell you, in the last 3 ball games we've played, we've made great running quarterbacks out of a lot of people, and start with Threadgill over at Mississippi State, and Matt Robinson and Goff over at Georgia, and Todd here today.
Davis goes to the 20, a 5-yard gain, 3rd and 3, 5.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Ball at the Auburn 20-yard line, and Auburn jumps offside.
Well, that's difference a lot of times. You have to have that poise and stability and not make those mistakes. Look at this guy. All right, that's Wade. Let's get 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15 people on him if necessary.
2nd and 9 at the 14. Todd scores on this play. Takes it around left end and goes into the end zone, and Alabama goes ahead 20-0. So from the interception, Alabama moves 56 yards in 7 plays. And Ridgway kicks the extra point through the uprights, and Alabama leads 21-0.
And fine protection there on the part of Alabama for the kicker. That flag up there gives you an idea about the wind. Of course, a lot of this damage, Alabama's got the wind right in their face. Now, here's another fine return by Rick Neal.
It's a 55-yard return all the way to the Alabama 39-yard line.
Well, we have a lot of people running along there, but it'd be a big help if they'd lay out and block.
Gargis at right tackle to the 35, a 4-yard gain.
Well, that's Philip Gargis doing the best he can under difficult circumstances, and finally swarmed under.
Pitch out goes to McIntyre. McIntyre's hit, fumbles, and Alabama recovers at the 37. Three minutes, 59 seconds left now in the 3rd quarter. First and 10 from the 37. Culliver hit first by Carlos Hart. He loses a yard.
That's great defense. That's what we need on every down.
Culliver at right guard, but a flag is thrown on that one, and Alabama will draw a 15-yard penalty for holding.
But they make it up on the very next play.
2nd and 23 from the 24. And it's Calvin Culliver taking it at left tackle. And he gets it out to the 45-yard line, a 21-yard gain. And now it's 3rd and 2 from the 45. Cavan is stopped for no gain. And on 4th down, Todd goes back into punt formation, but he's not going to kick it.
No, he's going to run with it, and he's going to pick up the 1st down. And that is not the first time Alabama has done something for punt formation.
Todd caught from behind by Jim Pitts.
Jim Pitts. Very reliable young man. Jim Pitts, number 93.
Todd is hit as he throws, and that one falls incomplete from midfield. 3rd and 9 at the 50. Duffy Bowles goes at left tackle, picks up 3 yards. Steve Staniland leads the tacklers, others in there. 4th down, Todd again to punt, but runs with it instead. And goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line, picks up only 4 yards, and it's short of the first down, so Auburn will take it at the 45 with 27 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
And we have fine field position here, and if you're ever going to move, this is the time to do it. We have Clyde Baumgarten in the ball game, number 10.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score now, Alabama 21, Auburn nothing.
Wait till you see the new telephone package I ordered. Look, a yellow trim-line wall phone here. And in the living room, won't green be perfect?
When you move, get a low-cost package of 3 or more phones in a variety of styles, either touch-tone or dial phones.
And blue in our room. Can't you just see it?
Going into the 4th quarter of play now, Legion Field in Birmingham. Auburn has the ball 2nd and 7 at the 48-yard line. Clyde Baumgartner, number 10, the quarterback. And on the first play of the 4th quarter, Baumgartner is back, throws a screen pass over to Henley, and Henley takes it across the 50 and down to the Bama 44. 7 yards and a first down. On the first down play, Baumgartner gives it to Kenny Burks up the middle, stopped for no gain by the Alabama defense.
Well, once again, I want to take my hat off to that Alabama defense. They're quick, and they play splendid football. And I've always felt, and most coaches do, that to have some sort of a football team, you have to have a great defense, or you're not going to have it.
Baumgartner passing to Gilligan, and Gilligan catches it, and that goes out of bounds at the 33. But it's a 9-yard gain and a first down. And then the Tigers are called for delay of game, and that's going to drop the ball back to the 38.
Well, that's the second time that we have taken too much time, and they are costly. They keep moving you back. And Jeff Gilligan, I think he makes it up, doesn't he?
Out of bounds at the 27, an 11-yard gain now, 2nd and 4 from the 27. Baumgartner keeps it to the 25, 3rd and 2. And Baumgartner at right tackle, and he gets the first down, going to the 23-yard line.
Well, that's about as close as we've been.
First down, pass to number 82, Ed Butler, incomplete. 2nd and 10 now from the 23, and Baumgartner goes back, looks downfield, but before he can find a receiver, he is dropped back at the 28 for a 5-yard loss, and that makes it 3rd and 15. And from the 28-yard line, Baumgartner again, passing this time to Burks, in and out of his hands.
Well, that just didn't quite look it in. So we bring on Neil O'Donoghue, and keep in mind the wind now. We're going in the opposite direction. We're going into the wind. It's a real strong wind, and it looked real good, but of course the wind caught it, and you could see it hanging, and finally it dropped down before going over the crossbar. It was a well-kicked ball. It was just a matter of too much wind.
This very short, too. Alabama's first play, a pass complete up to the 30-yard line, but the Tide was offside, so now it's first down back at the 15, but Shelby comes around right in. Across the 30, the 35, finally down at the 39-yard line, but it's a 24-yard gain for Shelby, and the Tide has a first down at the 39. Davis to the 40, a 1-yard gain.
Well, you know, I didn't like the 24-yard gain, but the way the quarterbacks in the last 3 games have been running with the football, it was a little bit refreshing on the option play to see him have to pitch.
Auburn draws a 15-yard penalty, a personal foul for face masking. Alabama with a 1st and 10 now at the Auburn 45. Todd bobbled the snap, picked it up, and throws to Brown, incomplete.
Well, that took some maneuvering there on the part of the quarterback to bobble that ball and still get it off.
Alabama on its final touchdown drive, 3rd and 4 from the 39. Todd's passing, and it's complete to Ozzie Newsome, who's to the 29-yard line before Lance Hill brings him down. Stock goes to the 26-yard line, 3 yards more.
There's a couple of people standing around. It's good to get in on the act.
Culliver at left guard to the 24, stopped by John Smith. But now from the 24-yard line on 3rd down, here comes the touchdown pass, and it'll go from number 14, Richard Todd, to Ozzie Newsome.
And Newsome just absolutely outruns us. We obviously were caught too far to the inside, and when he made his right turn there, he just outdistanced us.
The Tide goes 80 yards in 9 plays to go ahead 27-0, and as soon as Ridgway kicks it, and here it comes, it'll be 28-0 Alabama, with 6 minutes, 51 seconds left to play in the ball game. Berry kicking off for the Crimson Tide now, late in the ball game. It's another low kick, and Neal picks it up at the 6. Gets no more than across the 10 and down to the 13-yard line.
Well, it's fine kickoff coverage there. And a well-kicked ball, the kind that's tantalizing and bothers you, delays everything.
McIntyre for 3 yards to the 16, 2nd and 7. Kenny Burks goes at the left side, stopped for no gain, and a face masking call on Alabama will give Auburn a first down up at the 31-yard line. Baumgartner, the quarterback, number 10, throwing to number 34, Kenny Burks. Burks has it. 5-yard gain to the 36.
That was a delayed pass, a delayed back out of the backfield, I should say. And
long pass to Gilligan is incomplete. 3rd and 5 from the 36. Burks cuts in right tackle to the 41-yard line, just short of the first down. So it's going to be 4th and inches from the 41, and Baumgartner will sneak for the first down on this play. He has it at the 42-yard line.
I was amazed on that quarterback sneak. It was obvious that he, went 4th down in inches, and he goes a yard, and then there's a big debate about whether they're going to measure it or not.
The pass that time to Reese McCall, incomplete. 3rd and 14 from the 38. Late in the game, screen over to McIntyre, but it's broken up, incomplete.
Oh, well, they smelled that out real good and covered it extremely well.
That essentially was the end of the game. Alabama got one more possession and moved down to the 1-yard line, and there's the meeting at midfield between Coach Jordan and Bryant as Coach Jordan ends his coaching career at Auburn University. Final score in the final game, Alabama 28, Auburn nothing.
Are you getting all the mileage you can out of your best salesman? With Watts, you might get a lot more. Watts is wide area telecommunications service. More than just selling by phone, Watts is a way to do business, a way to change things.
Sir, Mr. Russell was wondering, could you come back next week?
Watts can change all that. Find out how. Call your telephone business office and ask for your account representative.
And now, Coach Jordan, we come to a very special part of this final program. We have as a very special guest on the Auburn Football Review today, Mr. Ben Brown, South Central Vice President in charge of Alabama operations. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah. Ben, we're delighted to see you, and more than that, we're just so pleased to have you on the set today.
Well, thank you, Coach. You're retiring after 25 exciting years as head coach at Auburn University. For the past 17 years, we at South Central Bell have been privileged to bring the Auburn Football Review to your many fans here in Alabama. And Carl, I believe this marks your 13th year with the Auburn Football Review. These have been proud years, and we are proud of the association that we at South Central Bell have had with both of you, and we want to thank you for them. And football fans, we believe the finest tribute that anyone could pay Coach Ralph Shug Jordan is to relive some of the greatest moments that he's had at Auburn University. So sit back and enjoy our salute to Shug.
We began our 1957 season in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was our first game of the season. We had a lot of inexperienced players in the line. Our first game in the rain. This was an emotional type game for us because of the inexperience. We went on to beat Tennessee 7-0 in Knoxville. Throughout the year, we were able to score a lot of points. We scored approximately 200 points to our opponent's 28. We were capable of scoring points, but we felt like throughout the year that our defense was what held us together. We had some big games in Houston, Florida State, Chattanooga, and of course, coming down to the end of the year, we had Alabama. Coach Jordan was the kind of individual that did not put pressure on you throughout the year, saying you've got to win this game to win a national championship. Through half of the year, we was not concerned or was unaware of the national championship really. But as the last half of the season began, we started making our moves in the poll. And as we went into the last game, Coach Jordan never puts pressure on you. At the beginning of the game, he would say something like, boys, if you play a good game, you got a chance to win the national championship. And this is the kind of person Coach Jordan is.
Coach, in only 7 years under your leadership, Auburn had become the best team in the country, and that winning tradition has kept up through the years. But perhaps the best remembered years are those that the fans like to remember as the Sullivan-Beasley years. In the 3 years that these players were on the varsity, Auburn won 26 games, appeared in 3 bowls, and were twice ranked at the top 10 of the nation.
You're so right, Ben.
And on Thanksgiving night in 1971, Pat Sullivan won the Heisman Trophy as the best college football player in the country.
What can you say about Coach Jordan? When I was called, asked to come down and kind of ad-lib and talk about him and what he's meant to me and what he's meant to Auburn football, it's really kind of a tough thing. I was thinking about it on the way, and you know, I've won several awards while playing athletics, the Heisman Trophy and several others. And I've said it many times in the past that one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me was being able to go to Auburn and have the friendships that I made with my teammates while there and having the opportunity to play under Coach Jordan. It was a tremendous thing, and I'm very thankful for it. You know, Coach Jordan, when we were playing ball at school, was always known as the man. And what higher compliment can a person have than to be known as the man by his players? To me, that was the greatest thing about going to Auburn, was being associated with him and my teammates. And I'm very thankful for that to this day.
Coach, when Pat and Terry graduated, people didn't expect too much from the next Auburn team, but you surprised them.
In fact, Coach Jordan, by the time the Auburn team met Alabama at Legion Field in the final game of the regular season, the Tigers were 8-1, ranked in the top 5 in the nation, but Auburn was still a 16-point underdog.
Sure, we were disappointed to be the underdog, 16 points going in the Alabama game after the season we had. But when Coach Davis called a punt play, we realized in the huddle that something was going to happen. The stadium was filled with excitement and tenseness. And as I lined up and broke through the line, I noticed the up back had taken burnage. And the way was open for me to just block the punt.
In about 3 minutes, we had an instant replay.
My responsibility on the punt play was to rush from the outside and block the punt. In the end, crashed me out on the outside, and so I was completely behind the punter and out of the play when Bill blocked the ball. And the ball bounced up, and the referee threw the flag, and I went ahead and picked the ball up since it was right in my hands and went across the goal line. And of course, the whistle blew, and there was some confusion, and we really didn't know whether it was a touchdown or what the situation was. But it did turn out that it was a touchdown, and on the second punt, the same thing happened primarily. I was pushed out by the end again and went behind the punter, and Bill blocked the ball again, and I picked it up. But this time I really realized that Bill had done a good job and that we were going to have a chance to win the ball game.
David, I think a big thing to start the season, that you remember when we had a team meeting and Coach Jordan told us in that meeting that he would be proud to take this team to play anybody at any time. And with a man with that much confidence in you, how could you let him down?
Well, Bill, I realized that going into that year, we didn't have anybody on the team that Well, even the fans felt like that it was going to be a rebuilding year and everything like that, and we just had a lot of people that wanted to play football and wanted to do a lot of things for Coach Durden, and I think everybody was just proud of everybody on the team. And we didn't have any standouts like Pat and Terry, and everybody knew that we had to be a team that year to make a good season out of it.
1972 was a great season, Coach Jordan. You finished by demolishing that good Colorado team down in the Gator Bowl. And then, Coach, you won the National Bonehead of the Year Award for doing such a good job when you weren't supposed to.
The Bonehead Award certainly isn't the only award you won during your career, Coach.
Coach Jordan, the honors which have been won by you and by the players that you have coached are entirely too numerous to mention in a short period of time. You've been named Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year and National Coach of the Year. You've had 22 football players who have been named to the All-American team. Only 2 coaches in the history of the Southeastern Conference have produced more winning games than you have produced. You have been named to the Alabama Hall of Sports Fame and to the Alabama Academy of Honor. And next year, you will become a member of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, which is probably the first time that a football coach has gone on the board of his alma mater and the institution in which he coached. But perhaps most important of all, on a day in October 1973, you became the first active football coach to have a stadium named for him. On that time, we dedicated Jordan Hare Stadium, changing the name from Cliff Hare Stadium, and it was a great privilege to do you honor on that occasion.
As chairman of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University and as governor of Alabama, it is my pleasure to announce that henceforth this stadium shall be known as the Jordan Hare Stadium. So as governor, I speak for all of those present here today in Alabama, and we wish you many more active years of service to this great university and to the young people who attend it. So we love you, Shug. God bless you, and War Eagle. Oh, I'm very proud today. I'm highly honored today. I'm deeply grateful and appreciative today. How to get a college president and a governor and a head football coach, president, with 10 minutes of time allotted is an impossible situation. But I do want to tell you that there's so many people that down through the years have meant so much to me and are responsible for me standing here today. I'm grateful. I thank my family. And I want to say this. I knew Professor Hare. I used to have to take my eligibility blank over for his signature. I love the man as his family does. I wish he was here today. But I spent many an afternoon talking with him, so I want you to know that the Jordan part of the stadium is real proud to have my name up there with such a great person as Professor Hare. I've run out of time. I could talk a long time and thank many people, but time does not permit. So thank you all, and I will forever be very grateful. Thank you very much.
Well, that was certainly a stirring moment.
It, gosh, that took me back and to think about Professor Hare and my family there present, Dr. Philpott, Governor Wallace, Ms. Wallace, and all the people responsible the renaming of the stadium. I'm highly honored. And, of course, to see Bill Newton, David Langner, Lloyd Nix, Pat Sullivan, some fabulous football player, but more than that, great people, and many others. Gosh, you're so right, Carl, when you can't help but get a little emotional about something like that.
Well, Coach Jordan, let me, on behalf of WSFA TV, thank you for 21 years of the Auburn Football Review, 17 years for South Central Bell, and 13 years for me. I counted it up today, and this is the 133rd time you and I have sat down here on Sunday afternoon to talk about a football game, and I must say I've enjoyed every one of them.
Well,
and
thank you.
Now let me, on behalf of Auburn fans all over the state of Alabama and the Southeast, and in fact the nation, thank you for the 25 years of happiness you've given them. You've given them a lot of football games to remember, things they won't forget, 25 years of great Auburn history, and we all just wish you well in retirement. And
thank you.
Now you're going to go sit up on the 10-yard line if you can get a ticket.
And eat the peanuts if I can get the peanuts.
Well, I'll tell you, you're going to have to work on that, but you've touched many lives, and you know all the football players love you, all the Auburn fans love you, all the fans in the state of Alabama love you, and it's been 25 great years, and we do thank you for it.
Thank you, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Coach Jordan is making his final appearance here today on Auburn Football Review. At this time, I would again like to turn the program over to Mr. Ben Brown, who has one final special guest he'd like to introduce at this time.
And, Coach, we thought it only appropriate that we have your greatest football fan on our final Auburn Football Review.
Well, it's certainly nice after 17 years that I should get to be on Shug's show, and I'm looking forward to getting him up in the stands so he can be on our show for a while. I think I can teach him how to act like a fan. He can learn to stand up on kickoffs and cheer the team and holler at the coaches like we all do when we're up in the stands. But we are real proud of Shug's record at Auburn and feel like that he has done such a good job there. The family is so proud of the fact that the stadium is named for him. We all take great pride in riding by and looking at the name on the stadium.
It's well deserved, I assure you that.
Thank you.
And now, Coach, on behalf of our 11,000 employees at South Central Bell, we want to present several mementos to you. First of all, we want you to have the film clips of your great moments that you had at Auburn University as a coach. And next, we'd like to present to you a stadium seat built for two. Now, this was specially designed for you and Mrs. Jordan, since we understand that the two of you have never seen a football game together. Now, this may look a little small, but I assure you we had this designed and measured by the size of the seats at Auburn Stadium, and that it will fit both of you. We hope you'll enjoy sitting in the stands and looking at the games for a change.
Well, thank you very much, Ben, and both Evelyn and I appreciate these beautiful stadium seats, and through you, we would like to thank the South Central Bell organization for thinking about us, remembering us, and we look forward to using them for many years, I hope.
We hope so, too.
And I'm to parch the peanuts, I understand.
I understand you can do that.
Good to see you.
You did
Good
great.
to see you.
The Auburn Football Review. Featuring Coach Ralph Shug Jordan with Carl Stephens, was brought to you by South Central Bell.